qualify as the Group C winners. Denmark are through as well. Now, these two will play runners-up and winners of Group D. Croatia have qualified, but not definitely won Group D. Nigeria, Iceland and Argentina all still have a chance to get through. I suppose if you're France and Denmark, you say, look, we've done what we set out to do. But if you were Didier Deschamps, how worried should you be about the form of your team going into the knockout stages?
I think you should be concerned, really, because Clive Tilsley just mentioned at the end of commentary that just before the tournament started, the Danish manager said that France were nothing special. And you know what? They've gone out of their way today to prove him right. Absolutely and utterly out of their way to prove him right. They've done nothing. And it is worrying for him because he's got some players on. I was all on for the changes he's made because perhaps even deep down with all the talent that he has available, I'm not so sure he actually knows exactly who's in the starting line or who should be in it. So it was an opportunity for some players to do something. They did absolutely nothing in the game. Absolutely nothing. You know, you could say about Denmark parking the bus, all that type of stuff. It doesn't really matter. It's up to France to break them down in a game where there's actually less pressure. And you don't get too many less pressurising games in a World Cup tournament than this.
What about from Denmark's point of view? It's hard to be critical of them, isn't it? Because they had to win the game to win the group. Would you understand the way they've gone about it?
I will understand the way they choose to play today, because I think that, yeah, they didn't really have to do anything. Make sure they get 1 point in order to go through. So you can't really blame them for it. I don't think so, at least.
Lee, if people are coming in from work right now or school or whatever, have a look at this. We really need some Benny Hill music, don't we? This sums up what they've missed.
It's the only thing missing, a bit of Benny Hill.
Yeah.
I mean, misplaced pass, another misplaced control, another misplaced pass, and then two players tackling each other, falling over, then a foul, then a coming together. The ref got bored, gave a foul. We've all been bored. Worst game I've ever seen in the World Cup. So let's move on. Let's talk about something interesting. I'm just what Martin said about, you know, they don't have to do anything, but France look like they're relying on individuals to win the next game. Like and Mbappe, Griezmann perhaps might do that, but that's a rocky road to go on if you're going deep into a competition, because they're not playing well, and they had a chance today.
I agree with both Martin and Lee what they said about France, because they really need to get it going now, and I don't see where it's coming from, because they played against Peru, they played against Australia, and they played more or less the same. We weren't convinced when they played those games. So what's... And
it's not a switch you could just flick now, is it? Go, right, knockout stages, I'll tell you what, we'll start playing properly now.
No, you can't, but they probably prove us wrong by doing it.
I think, funnily enough, I do think they can play better. You know, and listen, that was only a friendly game a couple of weeks ago, but they were so explosive in the match against us. And it is a friendly game, so I shouldn't take anything of that into consideration. But overall, they do have the individual talent. It wasn't in show today, or they didn't do anything anyway. But overall, I do think that there is improvement in the team, and I think, but they need to really wake it up.
Right, let's show some joy, shall we, to everybody at home. This is Peru. Haven't won in the World Cup since 1978, but they've beaten Australia by 2-0. This is their first goal in the World Cup since '82. There is definitely a hint of offside. Guerrero, the captain, just sets it up for Carrillo, who was on loan at Watford last season. Henrik as a striker. That's a great volley, isn't it?
That's a great finish. Yeah, you can't say much more. It's a great finish. I mean, good technique, executing it, and
I think those are tears rather than sweat. And it's 18 hours via Madrid on the way back to Lima, but it's fantastic for them. And then to wrap up their first win in the World Cup since 1978, Guerrero, the captain, as well, gets a little deflection there. But the best thing about that, Lee, is that they know that by the time of the next qualifiers for the World Cup, they've had the experience of it and how exciting it is.
They've inspired a nation. 32 million people are going absolutely nuts in Peru right now, and quite rightly so, because all they wanted was a goal, and they played well in the other two games. They've had a really good tournament, and well done.
And not just one good kit, two good kits. Home and away.
White one's better than the red, but I do like the red one as well.
Terrific. 2 days to go before England play their final group match against Belgium. Gabriel Clark has been talking to the England coach Gareth Southgate, who had strong words to say about diversity, identity and the spirit of '96.
2 games down, already qualified. England's big dilemma is what team to pick for Thursday's match with Belgium, which will decide who finishes first and second in the group. It's been suggested Belgium might change their entire outfield 10 players and that they feel finishing second in the group will offer the easier route through the knockout stages. So, what will England do?
I'm amused when people are plotting the route right through to where we'd rather stay in for the semi-final. We've won one knockout match in the last 15 years or so. So our focus is to keep winning. I don't think we can look any further than that. We're building momentum, we're improving as a team. We want to hit a high level of performance. I've got to balance that with, I think, some players that need time on the pitch, so that if they come into a really big match as a starter or as a sub, that they feel prepared. But we're looking to win the game.
Why have things clicked in terms of the system that's being put in place, the spirit around the squad, the set-piece routines all working?
Every camp that we meet up, we're always trying to improve and just kind of all gelled, and I think there's still things that we can improve on, which is an exciting thing.
If there's one thing he's telling you about what you can achieve at this tournament, what is it as a team?
Obviously we want to win it. That's the nation's dream as well. We've got one hurdle at a time to do that, and that's how we can make the difference. Not getting carried away and thinking about if we can finish first or second in the group, which has been brought up recently. I think we've got to go into every game looking to win it and keep that winning mentality going if we get who we get. I don't think we should fear anyone or doubt ourselves against anyone, because you know, you can look around the dressing room, well I certainly do, and see what power and talent we've got.
Some are saying they feel the connection between the fans and the team, for the first time, a real connection since Euro 96.
Well, that's one of the most important things for me. If we're managing to do that, we have the chance to affect something bigger than ourselves. We're a team with our diversity and with our youth that represent modern England. In England, we've spent a bit of time being a bit lost as to what our modern identity is, and I think as a team we represent that modern identity, and hopefully people can connect with us.
More than football?
Yeah. Of course, first and foremost, I'll be judged on the football results, but you have a chance to affect other things that are even bigger.
You can see England's final group game against Belgium on Thursday, live with us here on ITV from 6:15. Lee will be in the studio alongside Gary Neville, Ryan Giggs and Ian Wright. Let's just reflect on that really interesting statement where he's basically saying he'd like to use this England team as a mirror to hold up to modern English society.
I say it every time I come on talking about Gareth Southgate. Every single thing that comes out of his mouth makes sense to me. The way he deals with situations, he deals with problems, the fact that he's associating the team to how it reflects youthful UK, if you like, all of that stuff, and the way he dealt with the team sheet thing, Sterling before we came into the World Cup. I just think he talks a huge amount of sense, and I think the players respond to that. And I think they know how to play. They've got a game plan, and he's now talking. You know, you've got players talking about we shouldn't fear anybody, and it's all right saying that. But I genuinely believe that this team believes they can go on and beat anyone. We're not bothered about where we play, who we play. Let's just win every game. And if there's a gap for Prime Minister, then I'm up for Gareth Southgate. Throw him in. That's what I say.
There isn't a gap yet, but it's interesting because you know, being the England football manager is one of the biggest jobs in England. There's no question about that, because we all think in the pub that we're the England manager. We all pick the team.
Yeah, it is, but it is still the England manager's job. That's it, you know. And I mean, I wasn't exactly sure what sort of message he was bringing out there towards the end. Maybe something got lost in translation. Great, he's done brilliantly, and they've won the 2 games. They've beaten Tunisia, and they've won their second game against Panama. And he could be reading the news very shortly. I sometimes think, you know, you might have a wee bit too much time in your hands. You know, when you're in a tournament, I seem to have that. You know, 2 years ago, you can start reading a few novels and things like this here, and you can get subliminal messages, I think. From
what are you saying, Martin? Just stick to worrying about the football.
I think, yes, doing very well at that. I totally agree with Lee. Absolutely. Go and win the next game. Go and qualify. Everything's fine. You're the England manager and you're doing very well.
Is there a message from today with the amount of changes that Didier Deschamps made? Is there a warning there, both to Gareth Southgate and to Roberto Martinez, about making too many changes for Thursday night?
I think so. I think there is, if you look at the England team, they've been playing quite well. I think at least Belgium been really, really good. So I think maybe Belgium will do a few changes because they want other players to feel a part of this squad. But if you do too many, it's tough because it affects you in the long run as well, and it's important games coming up after.
Do you believe the England squad when they say, Martin, we just want to win these games, let's not get carried away about trying to plot this team may be in a quarter-final, this team may be further down the line? Is that a dangerous thing to do?
No, I'm in total agreement with that. I think that I absolutely agree with that. You know, you cannot plot other things. You can't just take care of what's in front of you. You know, you're in control of that. And I would think that they would want to go and win that group. Don't plan. The plans go askew after a while, so don't worry about that. No, so exactly what Lee was saying, I think that message that he's giving is perfect. And the players are buying into it, and they feel that themselves. So just go and win the next game, go and top the group, and see where we are after that.
Yeah, apart from anything else, I suppose, by trying to plot it and avoid a Brazil, you are subliminally saying, I'm a bit worried about playing Brazil, I wouldn't want you to. Well, actually, it casts a shadow of doubt in their minds.
When you get, if we get to that point, that's when we can start thinking about Brazil or Germany, whoever it is. And I think until that, you just get every game in front of you, and you say, and the lads are now confident enough to go, who are we playing next? Who are we playing next? Let's go and win the game. They're saying that about Belgium already.
Yeah, very briefly, Messi tonight, can he inspire Argentina? They desperately need him to.
He has to. He has to inspire them because otherwise they're out.
Yeah, OK, just the weight of the world on Messi's shoulders this evening. Thank you very much for your perseverance and your patience throughout today's game. Tonight at 10:45, we'll bring you highlights from all 4 of the matches played today. Argentina scrapping for their World Cup lives as they take on Nigeria.